This story is time to trek for Mandela again this year. The initiative sees people climb Kilimanjaro for charity. The first group summited the mountain on Mandela Day. That was on the 18th of July. The next group are set to leave for Kili later this week. Songezo Mabece from SAFM and Gugulethu Mfuphi from Kaya FM will be part of. We shall be part of that team. Songezo has just returned, as I said, from the mountain. They are here in studio. Okay, normally it's ladies first, but today I start with Songezo. Good afternoon, Gugu. Good afternoon, Songezo. Welcome.
Uncle Dan, thank you. Good to be here.
Thank you very much. Yeah, welcome back from Kili. How was the experience?
Best thing I've ever in my life done. Most fulfilling, certainly physically the most exacting. But once you're on top of that mountain, everything makes sense.
Was there any moment where you felt sorry for yourself?
Never. Never, ever. No. Why?
You enjoyed that journey right to the peak.
Look, I'm not going to lie.
Was it Uhuru Peak? Yeah?
It was tough. It absolutely was tough. But I didn't get to the point of feeling sorry for myself because not that I knew what I was signing up for. No one knows what they're signing up for until they're on the mountain. But I had a fair, if you like, anecdotal accounts of people who had been there, who would have gone at great lengths and even pains to explain how tough it is.
And you prepared. I mean, you had to prepare. There's months of preparation that you had to go through.
More physically, I mean, less physically than it is mental. It's really much a mental game, that. And I was more than prepared for that.
Gugu, you are leaving later this week. Oof. You're going to be part of a group of women who want to summit on the 9th of August. There's 9 of you. So 9 women summiting on the 9th of August, Women's Day. Are you ready? Are you excited? Are you scared?
All of those, and perhaps many more. So Songezo, together with the team of the July Climbers and many others who are part of the Mbumba Foundation, have really been amazing in encouraging us and, of course, keeping our energy going. Because you're right, the trepidation does increase as you start to contemplate a multitude of factors that could occur. Because like many other things, the body's fit, the mind might be clear, but there are elements that you can't necessarily control. And perhaps for me, altitude sickness is one that I'm worried about. But
yes, I understand every individual responds differently to high altitude. How did you respond? How do you handle altitude? Or the question is, how did altitude treat you, Songezo?
It was for the most parts very kind, but I think it had its way once I ran out of water. And then for some odd reason or the other, my snack supplies and my system were just fed up of each other. So whatever I was taking in, it was trying to get out. So I had to limit my intake of that. Couple that with the fact that I'd run out of water, but fortunately at the top, so I could still get to Uhuru. The troubles really found me on my way down, where I felt that for as long as I was moving, I was fine. But because of pole, you have to move down in a group at a particular pace. I found that to somewhat be to my demise in the sense that at every given time we had to stop. That's when the altitude got its way with me.
As you're coming down.
As I was coming down.
Yeah, but well done for doing it. I mean, there's a purpose to this. Kuku, why are you doing it?
Very valid point, right? And I guess many people want an absolute answer, and I think there's a myriad of factors that I'm considering right now. First and foremost, I think looking at the partnership that we have with Mbumba Foundation and the Caring for Girls campaign, we cannot deny the fact that young women who are experiencing period poverty do need access to healthcare in order to be economic participants in the country. And given my line of work, we often get to witness the facts, the figures, the data points that actually speak to the scourge of unemployment in South Africa and how typically young women are often ostracized and outliers when it comes to economic activity. So definitely raising awareness for young ladies and of course raising awareness as to how corporates and even us as civil society can really actively play a role just by contributing, participating, and it goes beyond just digging in your pocket to contribute financially, giving of your time, giving of yourself. We've had the opportunity to engage with many of these beneficiaries, past and present, and you really get to understand their story, which makes it a lot more personal in terms of walking the journey with them.
Yeah, I mean, period poverty in this particular case, in this initiative driven by Mbumba Foundation, is not just about sanitary pads, because they provide a package in terms of also educating the girls. So the benefits are really wider than just sanitary pads. Would you do it again, Songezo?
If you had asked me this on my way down, it would have been a categorical no. The minute I had a good night's sleep and I could reflect on what it was that I had just achieved, the people with whom I had done it, and the cause to which Gugu has so eloquently spoken to, the answer is a categorical yes. And if you can partly fund 2024 for my trek, I'd be ever so indebted because I'm targeting 2024 for that.
So you're looking for donors already.
He should be joining us on Friday.
Too soon, Gugu.
Too soon.
He needs to rest. He needs to rest. When did you start preparing, Gugu?
Earlier this year. So it's an interesting journey because I started hiking quite avidly about a year ago, posted on social media, and then Sina got in touch on social media. So this is actually how this journey started.
So Imbumba Foundation is watching out for hikers there, those who are keen. So she spotted you. So the idea is you have to put in money to go. It's not for
100K.
free. 100K, but it's worth it from what you have just said. So for you, Gugu, when you're going to go to the mountain, what for you will help you mind-wise, mental-wise, from what Songezo said? What are you going to be focusing on to get to the peak?
Very valid question. I don't think I have an absolute answer, a clear one to that just yet. But one thing that I have been clear about, a friend of mine actually recently called me and she said, there isn't a peak that you haven't summited in your life just yet. And I had to sit back and reflect and think, okay, well, what does that mean? And she was right. You know, we all go through life experiences, and there's so many analogies when it comes to hiking that actually speak to life. You know, one step at a time, pacing yourself, walking on a particular trail. At some point, you're alone. So I think it's really just about, you know, keeping the focus on, you know, enjoying the journey before even reaching the summit. That's something that's been very clear. And of course, just prioritizing your health and listening to the instructions, because I've been told that we certainly...
You guys are fortunate. You have a very well-rounded human being called Spusiso Vilane, the first black African to summit Mount Everest, okay? And I think he's done it more than once, in fact.
34.
No, Kilimanjaro.
34.
Mount Everest.
Oh, Mount Everest.
Yeah, Mount Everest. But he's going to be leading you and stuff like that. Just like you at Kaya FM, eNCA supported this Trek for Mandela initiative 2 years ago, and one of our producers, Skara, went up there and filmed the whole journey, came back and gave us some brilliant visuals at the time. So are you happy that as an individual, as a personality, Kaya FM is behind this? Oh,
certainly. That means the world of support to me. I've been at Kaya FM for just over 7 years now, and typically we talk about the market activity and business, and I guess a story like the Zamazamas, which you covered just a moment ago, would be quite a significant focus for us to take a look at the many ancillary factors and how markets would be impacted by this. But this, I guess, level of support from Kaya 959 with Imbumba Foundation really speaks to, again, something that we need to prioritize when it comes to business and society, which is our people, right? Investing in people, social awareness, and of course making sure that
especially supporting the girl child. Because 100%. I mean, there's that old adage, you educate a girl child, you get much more return from it.
The multiplier effect.
Yeah, the multiplier effect. Instead, not that you shouldn't educate a boy child. They also need education.
100%.
But the benefits are more. On your side, Songezo, have you shared your story already of your experience on SAFM, on your show there?
Well, I did tell the people that who are the listeners of the SAFM Viewpoint that I am back, and I sort of took 5 minutes to account for it. But I haven't really, certainly not to this extent, engaged truly what I've just done. I haven't accounted even in my own head precisely what it is that this journey of the last year, effectively, it has been. No.
Yeah, you are an inspiration, and I think you should share the story, just like you, Gugu. So good luck with you, the trip.
Thank you.
You got your bags packed already, and don't forget any of the equipment, and take the instructions very seriously from Imbumba Foundation about what you should
seem to know a lot about this, Uncle Dan. Have you been there?
No, I've not been there, Songezo. Don't even.
Planning
I
to
won't
summit
even think.
soon?
Never, Andizi. I'm not going up on Kili. Songezo Mabece.
Thank you, sir.
From SAFM and Gugulethu Mfuphi, Kaya B's anchor on Kaya FM. Thank you very much, and good luck. Good luck to you. Maybe we'll talk to you after you've come back.
Yes.
Summiting on August the 9th, flying the flag for the women of South Africa and that girl child. Thank you, guys.
Certainly.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's Songezo Mabece, who's on SAFM, and we've got Gugulethu Mfuphi. She's an anchor of Kaya B's on Kaya FM 95.9, as they used to call it in the old days. Still ahead.